I don't know my age. I am only a day and a night old.
Hit. Ow. Hit. Ow. Hit. Ow. Hit.
Yo, hey, check this out.
Oh yeah. Hit.
Yo, hey, check this out.
Oh yeah.
Som vit besökare på Jamaica möts man med misstänksamhet. Nästan alla jamaikaner har sina rötter i slaveriet, och att hävda att slaveriet är avskaffat sedan länge känner ingenting till.
The power it is to the limit of the sky. That's how me view white supremacy as a nigger. That's why him go around the world right now and him use finance capital and technological aid to monopolize and exploit other nation resources.
För drygt 10 år sedan försökte regeringen få ekonomin att växa genom att ta långfristiga lån i väst. Efter det minskade medelinkomsten och arbetslösheten ökade. Räntebördan på de 3 miljarder dollar man lånade blev för tung, så Världsbanken och Internationella valutafonden fick kalla fötter. Efter starka påtryckningar var regeringen tvingad att gå med på kraftiga nedskärningar i den sociala budgeten.
We get money from to eat food. I mean, children, them, some when they work, they give me little something. But you see, not a direct keeping up, right? Not all the while they get a little job.
And nothing from the government?
No, nothing at all.
They are still supporting America and England and that. For you, for any parliament to look about the people, especially the black people, you can't link with them. No America, no England. Because once you link with them, the IMF worse. The IMF tell us, say, lay off the people. The IMF tell us, say, put down the social service. Because
IMF?
International Monetary Fund by the United States put money together to lend you, to say you don't have no foreign exchange, lend you and teach you how to spend it, put you under pressure. Make you lay off your people, your social service, you put it down. Plenty things where you're supposed to be do for your people. Them say you can't do it, so them kill your economy.
We're not really working. You have to, try to make ends meet. It's really hard. We don't have a job still. So that's have to make it work. Mama.
Do you have any help from the government at all?
Yeah, you get help. They have this food stamp that they give for mothers, young mothers. And they get like $40 a month every 3 months. $40 every 3 months. We have to enroll first before you can get it.
And do you get by with that?
No, that does help. That does help you out, It helps you a lot still. So you just send the kids to school.
The food stamp program is about $30 every 2 weeks. Right, and that's little bit more than $3 for a 2 week. It's a dietary supplement. It is not given in cash. It is given in the value.
I'm telling the truth. Sometimes I go out on the nights. In the nights, but I don't really like it all the time, but because my family is poor, I don't have anything, that's why I come out on the road sometimes. I don't really like it.
Well, we do it because of survival. You got kids and you have kids, you have a lot of kids and the father doesn't help you, and you have to provide for your kids, so you have to come out and make a little money for them.
Many of the men, the wife leave them because they're in drugs. And so then the wife is the one that is taking care of the children. And that's a problem. That's a major problem.
Don't you get support from the father?
No, one gets support, but the next one doesn't get no support, no?
Why?
Well, you know, maybe he doesn't want to support it. You know, the Jamaican man and all that, they don't like to support their kids. They give problem. They always say it's not their own. And you and the mother, you can't say it's not yours.
Hey, John, come give me a talk out to the thing, man.
But the government should build up some house, some cheap-rated house where we can really help ourselves with. And we're unemployed at that. We lack of unemployment. We not have no work, so we can't live nowhere good because you can't pay rent with nothing. We have to really have some work for do, then we can move from here, so. Get a life rough.
Better house, better living thing. Hey! Where am I? Where am I? I'm 26. I've been doing it after I left school, you know.
Go near it with the mic, make it sound. Huh? That gone down.
On the table, we have liver. We have liver, tripe and beans, stew beef, chicken and rice and peas. Right. So you see, hold on. You see, to you, it's a buckle, but to me, when I'm eating it, it's liver, tripe and beans, and cow foot and stew beef. You understand me? No, I don't care what nobody wants to say. I don't care what nobody wants to do. I just nyam buckle, just nyamming so. I don't cater. But you see, buckle eating is what I do for a living.
Many people, because of the unemployment situation in Jamaica, and many young people have jobs, they in turn feel the best way to be creative is to write a song or to be a DJ. Just hold a second, let me get through it.
Roland Burrell and Errol Scorcher. This is the reggae version of Honey Honey. Now let's go back to 1980. I still feel it's a disservice to my nation to play only one sound because I need to broaden your scope. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, Marley would say. 1980, 11 years ago, this foreign artist David Hudson did the original Honey Honey. Here we go.
Yeah. I was saying, because of unemployment, we have so many artists who feel the best way to be creative is to do a song. So you have many DJs, in the same way in North America you have rappers and singers too. Not many will turn out to be a Bob Marley or a Third World or Jimmy Cliff, but the fact is that eventually some will break.
Hold on to your love, you've got to hold on to your love. The art of playing games now, it's not to what you bring, it's the good love you make when your heart's on fire. Give her love every day, remember she needs space, be patient and she'll give her heart to you. Trust.
Burn out the fire, big guns and night down in the too. And none of them never know. Anyway, watch me. Couple of them look for me if they see the print and the gun. And the only walk.
Reggae är det Jamaica är mest känt för. De största artisterna har idag diplomatpass och kallas för reggae-ambassadörer. Bob Marley, Jimmy Cliff, Gregory Isaacs och Third World tog sig alla från gettot genom musiken.
I used to walk and sell like food stuff and earn some money, and I used to go evening class, like school in the evening and in the daytime. I do some selling, right?
Ain't got no money to pay your bills. I do love you still. Oh, no. I ain't got no money to buy you diamond rings. I ain't got no money to buy you golden chains. To pay your bills at Hotel California.
Nedskärningarna i den sociala budgeten slår hårt mot de som har det sämst. Bellevue Hospital är det enda mentalsjukhuset på Jamaica. Här finns 1400 patienter inlåsta.
Equal on a music.
Okay, all right, fine.
Yes.
Okay, how you feeling today?
Well, quite all right.
You're feeling all right?
Yes.
You had your medication already?
No, I don't take it this morning.
Yes, you did. Really? No, who am I to believe? Eh? Do you know the name of the medication that you take?
Yeah.
What is it called?
There's Maria Rinaldo.
You understand that, Julia?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
You take Maria Rinaldo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Why do you need to take medications?
Doctor is asking you a question.
Can you tell me, why do you need the medicine?
Well, honorable sex is in the brain and realize I don't like food. I just like those to take my meditation.
Yes.
Near the vibes.
When you're feeling better and you leave here, where will you go? Have you got a home to go to?
I'd have to put it to the court that I don't have a righteous house, but I think that I can get a house. I can get a house by a family of godmother, Cyril.
Yes.
Cyril is the master and he will give me a house.
Längst bort i ett av sjukhusområdets hörn ligger en avdelning undangömd. Här vårdas 35 utvecklingsstörda barn och ungdomar. En utbildad sjuksköterska tar ensam hand om barnen med hjälp av patienter från mentalsjukhuset. Barnen sitter större delen av dagen inlåsta i en bur i sin egen avföring.
This is Western Tiwa, the unit for retarded children. And most of these children are abandoned. And this is where they are housed. And as you can see, the building is run down. The fencing needs fixing. We have intruders who come in and steal things, molest the children. So that's why you see the dogs here, because the dogs are to hack our security. If anybody new comes over the fence, they start barking and then we know somebody's on the compound. Over that section now is was burnt down, caused by electrical short circuit. All of that section is burned down. It was supposed to have built back, but I suppose lack of funds was one of the reasons why it has not been built back. So right now our priority is to get this place suitable for the children, you know, to live it, to bring it like a home that the children can feel more or less home away from home.
You see, what happened is that certain parents feel shame to know that their child is handicapped, okay? And they does not want anyone to know that that is their child. Sometimes what they do is that they put them at a corner and leave them, and people pass and pick them up and take them to Bellevue.
I would say that people are mildly intolerant of people with mental disorders. They are a little bit skeptical, they are a little afraid. But with education, people are becoming more and more tolerant. People used to be very, very intolerant, but it is a very, very, very slow process.
It is run by the government. And like anywhere else, anything that is run by government does not really have the effect as if it was a private institution.
What you have witnessed, which is unfortunately true, is really the consequence of what are very difficult situations for too many of our people. That is to say, the fact of poverty, and a suffocating poverty in many instances, which means that resources are very scarce within a family setting, and therefore those who are most powerless often suffer greatest because of just the shortage of resources. It is very different in wealthier countries where you have the kind of resources that are able to take care of these disadvantaged elements of the community.
Every man talk about money, but I want to know all black people, all people in the world, say money is there to even segregate us, even though it's a source of living. That's why me look and say, them talking about money, 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 why? Money, 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 yes. Oh Lord, but money's like a slavery chain all in the poor man down. But I see, lad, money's like a slavery chain all in the black man down. Do you get what I say? You don't have no money, you don't have no home. You don't have no money, you can't wear no clothes. Things get so hard, time gets so dread. Poor people using cardboard for their bed. But money's like a slavery chain all in the poor man down. When I see, lad, money's like a slavery chain all in the black man down. Do you get what I say? And I say we no work, and I say we no try, but all we a try, we just can't get no blind. The people in the ghetto, them unemployed, and every day you hear the young babies cry, cause money's like a slavery chain all in the poor. You know, this true, you know, because we not stop fighting still, you know, by any which way.
Want to be there. Or somebody where they on the scene and man.
Gettolivet är en grogrund för motsättningar. I det här området sköts 17-årige David Wellington ihjäl av polis från nära håll. Enligt ögonvittnen sköts han på sin egen bakgård utan att ha provocerat poliserna. Amnesty International har uppmärksammat ett flertal fall där personer blivit ihjälskjutna av polisen. Människor som kunde ha gripits utan våld.
In the morning, the cops came. Dale was sitting on that step there. And Mark there, and Mark was sitting there on that step, reading a record, newspaper. And when the cops came around, one car was parked just there, and two cars parked over that side. And this fat one, like, up came and did like this. Brrrr. started shooting, and Dale was in the air like this from bullets. And Mark Williams had to form like he had died. I maybe shot him and killed him. And then when Dale dropped off there, from bullets gone, this police came over him now. That time everybody had gathered there. A lot of people see this. This is ice, everybody see this. He came over him and shot him again in his head. And he got kicked out like that. And then a lot of people now start making noise, and they got a demonstration, and police drove them off to the hospital, and Minister of Security came, and a lot of things like that. But yet still Mark is still in the prison. GP detained on 13 charges. You know, the police is driving around here free and running up their mouths and threatening people still. You understand? So we want to know what's gonna do about that.
Get out.
What is this? Get there.
There's someone in the area, man.
Watch it there.
This one go by under the building and just come back like this.
See me here.
There's some U-turn past the wall. You run on us a while ago. About three of them. About three boys.
Just come outside, you're the baby, miss you run around there.
Come on. Bodies are
The education we get in Jamaica today is not an education of unity, and which is that we are going to is a brainwash education to fight against one another. The police force is from out of we, the black people, out of the ghetto. We usually eat together, drink together, but suddenly they are against us. So we are against ourselves, to say then.
How often do you find that weapons are used against the police?
Not so often. Not so often. We do find a few, but not so often.
And how often do the police get involved in a shootout or some such action?
I do not have a definite figure right now, but in most robberies, you'll find that guns are involved. Most robberies.
I know of David Wellington that the police them shoot inside here. I know of David Wellington that the police them shoot inside here. And 5 policemen charged for it and none of them not found guilty. And yet still is the policeman gun shoot him. So how it go? Who do the shooting?
There are often a lot of stabbings. In this part of Kingston, almost every second person might carry a knife.
Some carry, yes, I agree. But what happened to those that don't carry? And then the police say, him stick me up with a knife. Can you stick up a policeman who have a long gun with a little knife? I say you draw from police? Can that be? Yeah, unless him's a madman. And Jamaica don't full up of so much madman.
More often we're finding that drugs, especially crack, is very prevalent in this part of the area. You find that the average 10-year-old start using crack.
Just a little herb. You hear them talk about coke, but I don't see it. I don't know if it or what have you. Just a little herb. Food all says. That's all.
Marijuana is used, for example, by a laborer in the fields, a lower working class person, to relax after work in the same way that the Frenchman would go home and have some wine, and the Englishman would have his gin, and the American would have his scotch.
It's the cocaine you have to worry about, guys. I mean, the ganja is one thing. It's been around for years. It's almost, some people preach it's natural, okay? Whether it's natural or unnatural or whatever it is, but it's not, the ganja is not the problem. It's cocaine, it's a crack. Yeah. It's a crack in the schools, it's a crack in the ghetto. When you're in the ghetto and you want another hit off of something, and you know, you'll kill for it, and they do. They kill for cigarettes. I speak for anything. I mean, it's crazy.
Good God. Marijuana is dangerous. It's terrible. It makes you lose your consciousness of time. It makes you lose your relationship with your friends and family. Marijuana is bad.
You have to remember that in drug abuse, there are some factors involved. One is the availability. If the drug is not available, it can't be used. Marijuana is available, alcohol is available in Jamaica. Cocaine is less available. So people will use more alcohol and more marijuana because it is more available. Then there is the advertisement, meaning how the society puts the drug forward as something attractive or desirable, like cigarettes, coffee, alcohol are advertised. Marijuana is advertised to a lesser degree by virtue of the things that people say about it. Cocaine is advertised in terms of its glamour and so on. Also, the social acceptability is another factor. Alcohol is socially acceptable universally. Marijuana is more culturally acceptable in Jamaica, not more so than alcohol, but perhaps more culturally acceptable in Jamaica than it would be in Europe. And so you will find that given the advertisement, the availability and acceptability, you will find more use. And then finally comes the whole business of attitudes. And attitudes are always going through a whole business of change based on education.
Before we go to do our operation, we do a reconnaissance of the growing areas because basically the government is fighting against ganja, which is an illegal drug. And we stage the operation Buccaneer. From here, we fly into the growing areas. We're organized into various teams, and then we cut the ganja. It is very important that we fight the illegal growing of ganja because, you know, there's a saying that one thing leads to another.
Jamaicas marijuana, ganja, är stark och mycket eftertraktad. 1987 importerade USA ganja för $1,5 miljard. Det var Jamaicas största exportinkomst. USA stödjer bekämpningen av marijuana med helikoptrar och veteraner från Vietnam. De arbetar tillsammans med Jamaicas militär och polis. All odling av ganja är illegal på Jamaica.
You don't usually see the nursery like this, you know? Yeah, I see the nursery on the ground. Yeah. Where are the other people? They're going to Recca next week. Just across there.
What this is all about really it's just that we are going after what is illegal. We're not interested in raising this area at all. The house is still there. It is always left behind. We simply destroy what is illegal and move on from there.
Well, my life is very hard, and I try everything to succeed in life. I go around and I use cutlass to work, and I try every little thing, and I come to this as a herb, and I try to plant it and see if I can get something out of it, and it is the best thing I try after into my life.
This is the real stuff. I suspect you got some more in here. There's more of that.
Me feel about that, say, that don't right. For him carry me down. For me in the woods now. From go to the street, go disturb a one. Me turn in the bush and me start do something to myself. So you don't see me for months or weeks for me in the woods. So me don't come out, me no disturb no one out of the street there. Just plant my little herb and my food.
Well, basically right now I would say the people who are growing the ganja are small cultivators. They really are not the problem. It's just small farmers growing it. However, the people who buy it and the people who try to export it, those are basically usually the larger operators.
The real reason for the growing of ganja at a part of the stage of the game is the American market. Many ganja growers do not smoke at all. Many ganja growers do not smoke. They plant it as an economic crop because of the Americans that will pay them good money for it. And this must be emphasized when now the Americans are turning round on the Jamaicans who grow ganja. It's the American market that stimulated the growth of ganja.
A lot will be determined by how many of our people take refuge in using the drugs, you know, to lull the real want and deprivation in which they live. And unfortunately, I'm concerned at whether or not officially we'll be able to contain it, because to my mind, there are far too many reports of the active involvement of persons in high places in the society and members of the police force in the drug trade.
Ow. Ow. Yo, hey, check this out.
Oh yeah.
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 Jamaica is a transshipment port for cocaine for the entire Caribbean. Bringing things into Jamaica is easy. We don't have the security to stop that. Yes, and it's a police control there.
And they knew this thing is going on.
They control it, you don't understand. It's them when they want to bust anybody, or when they want to when you see when they get big shipments of cocaine, you know. When you bust a big shipment of cocaine, first thing you do is you take out half and then report half. The half that you take out, you send out on the streets. They sell it, they send it out to the other dealers. That's why I tell you, the police control certain areas.
It would be naive to pretend that there's no involvement of some members of the police force in drug trafficking. The exact percentage is difficult to say. But to the extent that there are members who are involved in giving protection to drug traffickers and maybe to be trafficking drugs themselves, they are treated just like any other drug trafficker.
That's a big, big problem. And I better be careful that I don't get myself into trouble with the authorities now. Because there are some policemen who are among the biggest ganja dealers in Jamaica. And what they want to do is to find and raid the ganja fields and get the ganja so that they can themselves can rinse that money and make a little extra money than what the low police pay would give them for their families and their living. So this is another big problem. But I hope I don't get into trouble by saying this if this comes over the air. This is another problem. The police are part of the problem too.
Of course, we would recognize that because of the size of the country that we operate in, and because also the fact that the agents who are involved in combating drugs are likely to be known by most other policemen. The fact that policemen are being targeted to make our job that much more difficult. And perhaps that is the reason why we have not had far greater success in apprehending policemen who are associated with drugs.
Fattigdomen leder inte bara till korruption. Inför valet 1980 delade samma politiker som idag leder landet ut skjutvapen till sina anhängare för att med hot värva nya röster. Sedan dess har antalet skottskador minskat, men antalet knivskador har ökat.
They came out the man, them not talk to me.
You will see that by and large, a great extent of our crimes are domestic crimes. In other words, it is a Friday evening and you have 8 or 9 children, because the other unfortunate thing is that most of these poor people, well, they have no recreation, so they tend to procreate instead. So you have families of 8 and 9. There's not enough food to go around. The woman perhaps says something which hurts the man's pride. He's already feeling wounded that he can't support his family. The woman makes a comment, also expressing her own frustration, and it results in a stabbing incident.
We see on average about 20 stab wounds per day on average. There are stab wounds inflicted by knife, the ordinary pen knife carried by individuals, or maybe kitchen knives tend to stab the chest and abdomen.
over the past year or so, there have been a number of crimes which are far beyond our usual crimes in terms of the intensity of violence. And we have deduced that they are committed by people under the influence of drugs.
För drogmissbrukarna har det inte funnits någon form av vård tidigare. Nu har Frälsningsarmén startat ett rehabiliteringscentra, det allra första i Karibien. Men här finns det bara plats för ett 10-tal av Kingstons 26 000 tunga drogmissbrukare. Centrat ligger mitt i Kingstons ghetto, nära missbruket.
If you look across the road, right in front of us, there is what we will call a ghetto, right? And the people them that is in there, they are poor. They have no kind of income, so they make these kind of small shacks and live in there.
So what are the major problems in this area?
Major problem is drugs.
It's very, very serious out there, you know, and there are a lot of addicts out there that need help. But the thing is, this program can help you only if you want to help yourself, you know. If you don't really see the need to get rehabilitation, then it won't help, you understand? But there are a lot of people out there, and the situation out there is very, very serious. And there are a lot of young guys, you know, like myself, who really need to come to grips with their life and, you know, pull things together.
And the drugs, are they easy to get hold of?
Oh yes, very easy, especially cocaine. It's easy, you know. On almost every street corner. No, you know. It's more easily obtainable than marijuana.
At present, we have 9 addicts, and what we are trying to do with them is to fit them for the society so that they can go back home and get a job and be able to live peacefully like any other individual.
Much of our assistance comes from overseas, from our international headquarters, right? I usually tell people we receive about 85% of our operational funds from overseas, from our international headquarters.
We have been trying to place a lot of emphasis on cooperation with non-governmental organizations. In fact, we have discovered that many of them use funds more efficiently than some of the government organizations. And even where it is not a question of efficiency, they reach to social constituencies, social groups that the government organizations are not able to reach sometimes.
%95 of the work, I will say, is like people like the Salvation Army and other volunteer organizations, because the government itself does not have the money to do all the social work that they should really do.
We in Jamaica here need not just to talk, we need to act, because if the people in South Africa didn't take up arms, Mandela wouldn't be free today. So anywhere we are as black people under struggle, we must have to take up arms to free ourselves, because no hands can free us but our own.
Much of this social dislocation and suffering has been heightened in recent times by the two administrations succumbing to IMF-imposed measures which have resulted in large, and I mean large, cuts out of our social budget. So even less is being done for the poor who need help most.
Would you call this part of the hospital humane?
No part of the hospital is humane, as far as I'm concerned, because every aspect of the hospital needs looking after. It's just that here is worse than everywhere else. You understand?
Do you think that the government doesn't give enough priorities to mental treatment?
Well, because it's non-productive, I suppose that you know, that's why it's, you know, it's neglect. The hospital is neglect because, I mean, as you know, they are here and there's no production coming from this. Then there's no turnover. That government can benefit something from here. Do you try and spend on education for the young people or you know, in the school system or even right after school so that they can become productive elements in your society? Or do you place your expenditure on the kind of welfare benefit for people who have not been able to become a productive part of the society? It's a terrible dilemma.
The government in Jamaica has always displayed and demonstrated an interest in resolving social problems. It has always given tremendous support to the voluntary organizations to aid them in getting on with the work, because they do recognize and realize that they cannot accomplish everything.
Many third world countries, including ours, has deteriorated over the past 20 years. I mean, the average per capita income in Jamaica now is less than it was in 1973. At the same time, we provide the net resource transfer to institutions like the IMF and the World Bank is about $200 million per year to service that debt, so that we pay to the IMF and the World Bank this year about $200 million more than we receive from them.
In Africa it has happened too. I read in Madagascar, they say they are gone since them take the IMF money. And no country ever survived who used the IMF.
About 40 cents out of every dollar, about 40% of it, is spent to service the foreign debt, the international debt. And that means that for every dollar that is collected in taxes, before we can deal with the hospitals, the school, children that need food, the rehabilitation centers for the people on the street, we have to pay to these international financial institutions. So that what you have witnessed in the Bellevue Hospital and in the streets of Kingston is the very tangible expression of what everybody's talking about when they speak about the international debt problem. What you are seeing there is the human consequence of the failure of the international community thus far to deal with the problem of the third world debt.
Peeping through the rail, peeping through the bars. Me can't see the moon and me can't see the star. And out the street, my brethren them a war. I'm wondering if they're not looking far. Cause it's so bitter when you're back against the wall and before you it's the iron bars. Aye, it is so bitter when you're back against the wall and before you it's the iron bars.